So with that, one second, please. So I'm going to bring forward the first individual that is a hell of a lot more important to me, and her name's Miss Kim Hill. So Miss Kim Hill, she's the founder and the president of Blue Thanksgiving. There's probably a lot of you out there that know that know her nonprofit. It is a 501c3 nonprofit. It supports local law enforcement and fathers posting around the U.S. and Germany. She's married to the Cobb Board of Commissioners. To advocate, I can't see his foot off. No. This is what you sent me, Miss Hill. Miss Kim. This is Miss Kim, guys. Why don't you do? She's gonna do her own intro.
I am not married to a Cobb commissioner. That's a typo. Your page got shut off. You typed it.
All right.
I am married to Douglas Hill. He's a Cobb County attorney. And I've been in front of the commissioners a few times complaining and arguing on behalf of the families of law enforcement officers. And, you okay? But I am also the very proud mother of a deputy. And today I'm actually here because I am a member of a small, actually it's a very large group, a private group of mothers from around the country with children who are in law enforcement. These mothers are everywhere from Seattle, Washington to Tampa, Florida, Dallas, Texas, all the way to New York and beyond. Every city in between. We have got a very large group, but we're a very close private group because we want to protect our children. So a couple of days ago, I put out the word that I was going to be here. I'd been asked to say a few words. And I asked these mothers, is there anything that I can say to this group of supporters to express your emotions? The response was overwhelming. I got so many responses from these mothers who are hurting and afraid and mad as hell for their children, and I'm one of them.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! What's happening around this country right now is insanity. I told these mothers that I would express their emotions to you, and there were so many of them that once I wrote them all down and went through them, I thought there were like 6 pages of just sentences from these mothers. So I had to trim it down, and I hope you'll forgive me if I go on. I'll try not to bore you. I don't think this is boring at all. These are very emotional statements made by these mothers, and I just want to share with you. This is an overwhelming reality of fear and sorrow from around this nation by these mothers. It really brought me down last night when I went through them. I had to trim it up again. Okay. Not saying I love you before my daughter leaves haunts me until I see her again. I make sure to call my son every day as he is driving to work for fear it could be my last chance. When my daughter goes on shift, I pray hard and I watch the clock constantly. I wait all day long for the first words out of my son's mouth to me. I'm home safe. The fear that I see in my grandchildren's eyes when they know they may not see their daddy again. I'm afraid my son will be ambushed. This mother says, my son is being deployed to the Persian Gulf, and I'm actually glad, but afraid of what he will come home to. I fear the knock on the door. My son has wanted to be an officer since he was 3. He still says he wants to make a difference. This mother says, low-level gear is provided, and anything better must be purchased by the officers in his department. My son cannot afford it. I'm afraid my son will be charged with a crime for doing his job without due process or an investigation. The fatigue on my son's face is hard as hell to handle. My son has saved lives. My son has had rocks, bottles of cement thrown at him. He's had garbage, 2x4s, acid-soaked batteries, fireworks, and more thrown at him. He's worked nonstop on the front line and is pale, losing weight, and is exhausted. My son has a heart of gold. How is my son going to protect others if he isn't allowed to protect himself? The nightmares, the insomnia, the anxiety, they're all crippling. I worried before, but now I'm terrified. I fear for my son's emotional safety. I'm sad that my son, a new recruit, is already so sad, disillusioned, and feels alone so early in his career. I feel if my son hesitates for a brief second, for fear of being fired, receiving public prosecution and arrest without due process or investigation, he'll be shot and killed. My police officer's son has the heart of a servant, morals any parent would be proud of, and a solid devotion to duty. I know my son is a target simply because of the uniform he wears. It's sad when you hear your son say he is starving, but he won't go get something to eat because he's afraid to in his uniform. I raised my boys to be good citizens. They both served in the military and then joined law enforcement. My son responded to an active shooter in progress. At the end of his shift, instead of going home to his wife and children, he drove as fast as he could into the unknown to help save his fellow officers who were being shot at. He knew the risk, and yet that didn't stop him. That ambush was the first time I heard my boy say he was scared. My daughter has 2 boys. I don't want to lose my daughter, and they don't want to lose their mother just because of the hate. 2 deputies in her department were attacked last night, and 1 is in the hospital. My son had to give my office work address in case he was hurt or killed so they could inform me. That's when this got real for me. This mother said, "Please tell them our hearts are literally walking outside our bodies each and every day. Tell them that this 5'2", 105-pound woman wants to put on a uniform and go help them. I'm not afraid to die, but I'm terrified of losing my child." These stories go on, and I've got 2 more pages. It's just, my daughter texted me and said, "Mom, they're slaughtering us. Please pray." I was across the country from her crying and praying. A few years ago, my son was on a call that he said was not going to end well. He said he kept thinking, what could he possibly do to somehow alter the outcome? Because he cared. He cared. My son said, "Mom, I still just want to help people." My son has completely shut down. He is separated from his wife. He's had 3 SWAT calls in 1 week. He was suicidal last month, and he lost his partner in the line of duty last year. This is so difficult. 1 more. As I watch my grandkids, I wonder what they would do if something happened to my son. They are the forgotten part of the thin blue line. When the son of a close friend was killed in the line of duty, his young daughter asked me, "Why did that bad guy kill my daddy? He took him away from me." She said, "I couldn't find the words to help her, and it still haunts me. I pray I never have to answer this question to my grandchildren." One of the mothers told me about a Bible verse or a Bible chapter that I had never seen before, which surprises me because I was brought up in the church, and this is one that escaped me, I suppose. It's Psalm 91. She said that she repeats it to herself over and over and over again. And I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but I do want to share some of the verses that really stuck out. "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. No harm will overcome you. No disaster will come near you. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me, and I will answer him. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. In conclusion, I'd like to add my voice to the voices of all these other mothers and say that I too worry about the safety of my son because of the dangers I know he has faced in the past and will face again in the future. But I know that he does his job with the best of his intention, the best of intentions and the best of his ability and training. And I am as proud as any mother could ever be. I want to offer a heartfelt thank you to everyone here that serves, all of you who have answered the call to serve and protect. God bless you all and keep you safe.
So, Miss Kim she's incredible. She was a big part of, once she got wind of what we were doing, we put this together very, very fast, and a large percentage of it was thanks to her. You know what I think is important is all over the country, like let's say it's from all over the country, those comments were, all over the country. It's important. You ready, Allison? Okay, since I screwed up the intro so bad last time, why don't you come up here and you can intro yourself.